Hey, hope everybody's doing okay. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being engaged with the stuff that we're doing, because we got a whole lot more coming to you. This episode is one of the things that makes me really like what we're doing here on the YouTube channel, and is kind of finding like-minded people that don't know how we got here, but we're still rolling with it. So I'm talking about a channel that I started to follow a little while ago called Speed Bump Garage, and it's a father and son DIY team that does a bunch of cool stuff, and they don't pretend to be anything other than who they are, and they just do neat stuff. I first started to become aware of them. I watched the Between the Aisles podcast with Derek through O'Reilly Auto Parts, and Derek and his son Bentley were there, and Jack and Kent, his dad. They were just talking about stuff and the YouTube channel, and I reached out to him and I said, hey man, I like what you do on your channel. If I can ever be of help to you guys, let me know. And we started a conversation, and the conversation was, yeah, well, Jack maybe wanted to paint the Ranchero, and I thought, well, maybe I can help, with some training or something like that. And we just kind of struck up a friendship over the phone, and just bench racing and stuff like that, and bam, they find themselves here in Tennessee. One of the things that I hope to be doing in the very near future is hosting in-person classes here at my training center. And we're not there yet, but we're getting close. And this was kind of a test run of something like that. And, you know, I do private training for a couple of contracts that I have, and I'm a consultant for some other companies. And so it's not something new for me, but it's something that I want to go ahead and extend to anybody that might want to sign up. I've got online courses. You guys know this. Paintucation.com has all kinds of stuff. Paintucation University, all that. But this was neat. And there's nothing quite the same as being in the same room as somebody and helping them find ways for those light bulbs to go off. So that's what this was about. Kent and Jack took the training, and I think they got a lot out of it. Of course, they've gone home by now, and we've talked back and forth, and they're all inspired and things like that. But we got a chance to sit down and talk with them before the training class, and then after day one. And so I want you guys to follow along. I'm not showing the training course. I'm showing those guys in it, and just kind of, you know, filling in some of the gaps and letting you guys know what's in the course. And of course, all of it is available in the online versions as well, if you want to immerse yourself into some decent curriculum that's going to show you a lot of stuff. But for now, here's Jack and Kent from Speed Bump Garage. I got Jack Waddell from Speed Bump Garage here at the Paintucation Training Center. So Jack, man, it's good to have you here, bud.
Yep, nice. Or thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously I'm subscribed. I follow you guys. I really dig what you guys do on the channel because it's real. You're not pretending to be anything. You're not doing fake drama. You're just doing cool projects. So if anybody knows me from TV, they know me from the TV shows that I did for years and years, which is how to and all that kind of stuff. So that process is near and dear to me. So I'll start it off by saying one of the things I like the most about your channel is that you show how to do stuff.
Yeah.
You give step-by-step procedure, and you show what happens if things go wrong. So how did you get started in that?
We don't always know what we're doing, so we've always just trial and error, and I like showing people I don't know what I'm doing, but if you try it, you can figure it out.
And, you know, I mean, that's the secret to life, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, give it a shot. People get so afraid of making mistakes, don't they?
Yeah.
And the truth is, all you have to do is get up one more time than you fall down, and you win.
Yeah.
Right? So it's the same thing with paint and body. And that's what makes me feel pretty good about teaching people how to do paint and body stuff, is you figure out how to fix the mistakes that happen. And you just kind of have to burn that skin off, don't you? You have to be unafraid of making mistakes to do what you do, don't you?
Yep.
Because I know you've done some painting projects, you've done some 3D printing projects, you've done a ton of mechanical stuff, but you want to paint the Ranchero. Why?
Well, basically, it has a bunch of rust. The car is almost in pieces because how much rust it has, and we're gonna have to do a bunch of body work, and I think it'll look weird if we just have a bunch of bare metal, so I think we need to start fresh with a new paint job, and it does have a lot of orange peeling on the hood and stuff where the paint's just faded and crumbled up from being old.
Yeah. Is it original paint or has it been painted before?
I think it's, you can't really tell. I think it's in so many like crumbles over the top layer. I assume it's had one over spray or something.
Right, right. So the good thing about that is that you guys are saving an old car. The bad thing about that is that you're saving an old car and they just fall apart.
Yeah.
But you know what? I really like that you guys are doing rescues like that because you're taking something that's been forgotten and you're bringing it back to life and you're giving it character and you're showing people that it can be done. And at the end of the day, you're going to have a cool ranchero and you're going to have a neat piece of history and you're going to be able to say that you've done it yourself, right?
Yeah.
So what are your plans? You're going to restore the paint and the body work. Hopefully here at Paintucation, you're going to be going home with some gun skills and some knowledge about the chemistry and stuff like that. For the body work part of it, of course, you've already got some Paintucation DVDs to learn from.
Yep.
Wink. What else are your plans? Are you going to do upholstery?
I want to learn upholstery. That's something I've been looking into. I don't think I'll be able to do it in time to do my seat. That's something I want to throw out there. I'd like to learn upholstery. But I think we'll get the seat upholstered, and then I ordered a carpet kit, a headliner kit. I think I'll get the interior pretty cool. And then I need to order a air conditioner kit. It's an original AC car, but
Okay, cool.
it's all in pieces too. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, the good news with that is that you can get like a vintage air system or old air products or something like that. They fit perfectly in the car and they work better than the original ones ever did in the first place.
Yeah, and the cool thing about YouTube, without the whole YouTube deal, this car would have never went as far as it has.
No.
So I think once we're at a steady spot, we just keep going forward, upgrades, whatever we want to do.
This in-person training followed the same basic steps as the Paintucation University 101 course, starting off with a bunch of theory, basic paint chemistry, an understanding of the paint systems and what's in them, as well as PPE, personal protective equipment. And then, once we have an understanding of the basic tools and equipment and materials that we're working with, we can go on to hand skills. The spray coach is instrumental, and it's a dry training technique. It teaches you what perfect technique is supposed to feel like. The spray coach is a great teaching tool and allows me to explain exactly what should happen with a spray gun and how it's supposed to feel without having PPE in the way, without having a spray mask on, without even having a radio headset on, so we could just have a conversation about it. You can see the light bulb goes off pretty quick with Jack, and Kent was a pretty quick study too. So much of painting and understanding how to properly use the equipment falls into muscle memory. That's literally how it's supposed to feel, and things happening without you really having to think about them. Anyone taking the online course can take the lessons as many times as you want, but there's something about being in the same room as somebody where you can actually communicate, ask questions, go back and forth, and come to an understanding about how things are supposed to work, feel, and look before you move on. My lessons use a crawl, walk, run theory. And that includes starting with craft paint sprayed on cardboard. That's it. We're still going to suit up. We're still going to use our PPE because the radio headsets allow us to communicate just like normal people communicate, even though we're in a spray environment with a really noisy booth. The last thing I want is for somebody to have the urge to take off their mask in order to exercise a thought or say something that they might want to say to communicate. This way, we just don't have to. Using the craft paint on cardboard gives us contrast. We don't have to worry about gloss, we don't have to worry about runs. All we're doing in this exercise is seeing how the gun works, seeing how it responds to a trigger pull, a half trigger, full trigger, good technique, bad technique, and it doesn't cost anything to fail. Craft paint is cheap, cardboard is free, and the lessons are absolutely invaluable. My training center gives me 3 distinct environments, one for surface prep and projects, one for classroom curriculum, and obviously the spray booth for in-booth, in-person instruction on spray techniques. After we get a good dose of practical application, now it's time to do some surface prep and get our panels ready for the spray exercises with the professional paint. Prep is almost more important than spraying. It's super important to understand what has to happen in order to create a canvas in which to have a paint job. Cleanliness is one of the main parts to surface prep, and it's a super important aspect of the whole process of painting. Kent and Jack were no strangers to hard work. They got in there and got after it, and they actually listened to what I said. Even though both of these guys were very familiar with power tools, they took the time to listen and let me explain a couple of the different things that I've learned over the years. For instance, an interface pad in between your sandpaper and your sander, which allows you to go over contours. Where to start and where to stop with the tool. Sometimes when we just assume and teach ourselves how, well, we can skip a couple of steps. And it's a really nice affirmation to be in the same room with somebody else and share ideas as well as learn from them and what they've learned over the years. I always say, teaching, I learn as much from the students as the students learn from me. So this was no different. Once we got the fender surface prepped, we actually went in the booth and did a base coat, clear coat, 2-stage finish process. I always say it's the easiest system to teach, and Kent gave me really interesting feedback afterwards, and he kind of affirmed what I said. Surface prep is the same for single stage and 2-stage, and we sprayed both of these systems in the Paintucation training class. The online modules show you single stage paint, 2-stage paint, and a 2-tone project. Paintucation University is very, very comprehensive and also includes body filler and some mild surface prep, including high build primer fillers and primer surfacers, priming strategies, and blocking techniques. This class with Kent and the Speed Bump crew was just a spray training class. We had the chance to sit down after the training day and talk about what we learned and get caught up a little bit. It was really cool to get to know these guys a little bit better. So we've been through day one. We've done spray training, we've done gun handling, technique, a little bit of chemistry, a lot of theory, a lot of me running my mouth. What's your take on the first day? What do you think?
It was really fun. There's a lot more to it than I thought. I thought you could just hook an air gun up to the air compressor and go, but it interested me in seeing all the stuff you have to run between your air compressor and your gun.
The way I look at it, it's like a high-performance engine. You can throw nitrous on a big block if you want to, but if you don't make sure that it's got enough fuel, if you don't make sure that all the tolerances are tight, that your bearings are good, all that type of stuff, then you can blow the engine up. Yeah. Same with paint and body. If your chain of delivery isn't thought through, you can hook a paint gun to a compressor and spray and pray, but I don't want you to have to do that.
Yeah.
So I'm stoked that you guys came to me, because I don't pretend to know everything.
Yeah.
But I know how to do this, and I know how to teach people how to do this. And so my goal with this is to get you guys started on the right foot with the right knowledge about not only the safety aspects of it, but the procedures of it, and how to properly do this process so that your first time, when you make mistakes, because guess what? You're going to make mistakes. You'll know how to manage it and go through it. So I think it's great that you guys sought out getting the correct information, and I'm really, really excited about what you guys are going to go home with. So
yeah, me too, because if I forget something, now I know the right guy's YouTube channel to watch.
There you go.
And I have a CD, so
Yep.
if I forget anything, I can just go through before I paint the ranchero
Yeah.
and remember everything. So
Cool. Well, we're gonna get you started on the right foot, and we've got another day of hard work to do. So, thanks for muscling through.
Yep, thank you.
You guys did a great job. You guys are picking up on all the skills, you and Kent, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow when we spray the professional products. And I think you guys are ready, man.
Yep.
Cool.
Thanks for having us.
You betcha. We've got Kent Waddell here from Speed Bump Garage. Thanks for coming down here. Thanks for bringing Jack. I think you guys are enjoying the training. What do you think so far?
It's kind of like drinking from a fire hose. Everything I thought I knew about paint and body wasn't necessarily correct. So it's nice to learn the correct way to do some things, and we've got definitely have some habits to correct and some assumptions that were wrong that glad to have the correct information to move forward.
Yeah, well, there's always more than one right way to do this.
Yeah.
But there is correct procedure, and there's correct, it's equipment. You got to handle the equipment properly. So we'll pass that on to you guys, and you guys will have a head start with doing that. But I wanted to ask you how you got started doing the YouTube channel.
So in the summer of 2019, Jack grew some giant pumpkins with a guy. And
what's the name of that channel?
So
Or the first one?
there was no channel that summer. He was basically kind of an apprentice under this guy. Yeah, the guy's name's Brian Baker, and just an expert at growing everything.
Right.
Jack learned a lot about gardening and growing from him. I don't know anything about it. A lot of people assume when Jack started growing that it was me, but it wasn't. I learned a lot with him. We learned together. So 2020 growing season comes along. Jack's going to grow a giant pumpkin, and it was kind of the perfect storm. So January of 2020, he puts out his first video basically saying who he is. It's called Grow Jack Outdoors. He says he's going to grow a giant, he wants to grow the Oklahoma state record pumpkin. That's what, he hasn't done it yet, but I think he was 11 at the time, maybe, or 10. And, everybody jumped behind him. COVID happened. I got to be home a lot more than normal, and he did it. He grew a 500-pound pumpkin. And
It's amazing.
Grow Jack Outdoors started, and by the end of that summer, by the end of that year, I think we had around 20,000 subscribers on Grow Jack. So I was fully editing everything, and Jack was self-filming a lot. I was helping him film some, but we started at zero knowledge, had no knowledge of making videos, editing, so we're building this knowledge base, and honestly, a pretty good following. From 0 to 20,000 wasn't by accident. I mean, we worked really hard, and we were fortunate to make it there. So I finally said, hey, I'm gonna start making car videos. Jack's still running his Grow Jack stuff full time.
Yeah.
I start filming automotive content, and I don't want to say I know what I'm doing, because I still don't, but I know how to put a video together at this point. And we throw the first video on Speed Bump Garage, and it does really well. Video 1 did. It took us 6 months to get Grow Jack monetized, that channel. The Speed Bump Garage channel got monetized within 3 weeks.
So what do you attribute that to? Is that because everybody followed Jack and everybody
No, it was monetized before we ever even mentioned it on Grow Jack.
Really?
The only thing I can say is I think it was a little bit of luck and knowing how to put a video together. If you look at the early Grow Jack videos, we didn't know how to put a video together, so it was kind of a learning curve. And as we did better with the videos, the viewership picked up, and we started up there on Speed Bump Garage. And I'm not going to say it was great content, but we knew how to make some sort of an engaging video. And we just kept churning at that for about 2 years, and we had about 12,000 subscribers on Speed Bump Garage, and Grow Jack was just under 30,000 last August. So this was August of 2023. My day job got really busy. Jack started making some automotive content just to keep the channel from going stagnant.
Yeah.
And
people don't realize that consistency is so important.
Yeah.
I'm learning that with my channel.
For
You've
sure.
got to keep putting out content.
He's doing weekly vlogs on Grow Jack Outdoors, and he starts throwing some wrenching videos on Speed Bump Garage, which at that time was mostly me. Speed Bump Garage was. Now he kind of took it from me, but that's fine. So he makes a ranchero video in August. He came to me before I watched it and he said, "This is the one, Dad. This is good." And I watched it and I get goosebumps thinking about it. But we threw it up and it flopped on YouTube. We threw it on TikTok. Our TikTok account was less than 30 days old. The first day it did 10 million views on TikTok. And it was on fire.
Yeah.
And I was sitting at work and I honestly started getting nervous because our property wasn't completely secured at that time. We didn't have a gate or nothing. You could drive right to our house, and it just steady keeps growing. It's still not doing anything on YouTube. It's completely flopped on YouTube. It wasn't even one of our better shorts. It's like, we got to make another one. So we made another video, same thing, just rocket ship on TikTok. We had 1.2 million followers on TikTok on day 4.
Golly.
We had 3 videos up for the ranchero, so he started doing daily videos. And it was just, the car at that point was literally in the pasture at our house. Like, we hadn't touched it. I didn't know if the car would run. It was free. It was a free parts car with another ranchero that we bought.
Okay.
And didn't know anything about it. And so the first several, there was lots of videos to make. It needed a lot done to it, and it was pretty easy. And it's just on fire. Every video is going well over 1 million within 24 hours. It goes live at 2 o'clock. I step into a meeting at 2:30 and my phone just starts blowing up, and TikTok removed our account. There was so many people happy for us. That all of our longtime followers and supporters were so excited for us, but none of this had transferred anywhere but TikTok at this point, and they wiped us off the platform.
Do you know why?
Because they thought Jack was under 13. Everybody I talked to was like, "You got to appeal it." So I appealed it. I had put Jack's birth certificate on there and everything, and nothing. Never. I appealed it. You think you have 28 days? I sent an email every day for 28 days, and then it was completely removed from the platform.
Wow.
While this is happening, there's 20 different fake Speed Bump Garage channels showing up on TikTok, and one of them got to 400,000 followers.
Wow.
And they were just pulling our videos from YouTube and putting them on there. And so at the end of the 28 days, when there was no chance of getting our old channel back, we started another TikTok. The rug was pulled out from under us.
Yeah.
And we're back to, I think it might have boosted YouTube to 15 to 20,000 subscribers. It just we felt so defeated. We'd actually got a phone call from O'Reilly to do the interview like you did.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they were a little bit on the fence about the interview after all of our following was completely gone.
Yeah.
And then they said, let's just hold for a while. Well, they obviously stayed on board after YouTube kept trending up. And YouTube took off after about a month, and then we never have got the big following back on TikTok.
But you got your account back?
No, we had to start a new one, and it's maybe 280,000 followers. I mean, it's a big page, but
yeah,
nothing's went that crazy. The original Ranchero video ended up going several million on YouTube, and then with the Ranchero series, we're over 1 million subscribers on YouTube now too.
Yeah,
but
that happened in a relatively short amount of time.
Yeah, it was say August when that video came out. And I think we got our gold play button in December.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome, man.
So it was a wild ride. It was definitely a lot of luck, and it was Jack. I'm not going to sit here and act like but it did build our following, and it took the Grow Jack channel from about right at 30,000. I think it's 55,000 subscribers now. So
yeah.
It's been life-changing for sure. It's like we wouldn't be here. So, and this is our second trip to Tennessee since the big uproar. But
yeah,
that's kind of how we got in and how it happened. And
so, what's the takeaway from that? What's your best advice for somebody trying to grow a YouTube presence? What would you say to somebody starting out?
Man, I would just keep trying. You don't know what's going to work. Everybody told us for years short form content is the fastest way to grow. Jack is really good at it.
Yeah.
he is really good at making short form content,
Yeah.
and I'm always excited when I get home from work to see what he's came up with that day. He just, the day before he came here, he broke the grass chute off the lawnmower, you know, and that was an opportunity. He took it in the shop, he ground the welds off,
Yep.
he welded it back on there, and he made a entertaining little video on it. Just stuff like that. You just gotta, it's a different mindset. I enjoy making long form stuff, and our long form stuff does decent, but Jack's short form stuff is definitely what caused our growth and
Yeah.
what continues to get big numbers.
You're just people that try stuff, and it's
sure.
real. So my biggest compliment to you guys, and one of the hardest things that I think people, the hardest task in doing this stuff is to appear genuine and to appear real and not put any pretenses on, not overdo stuff, not fake stuff. And you guys just seem to have this rhythm of doing that. So I just want to say congratulations
I
for
appreciate it.
whatever it took to stumble upon that. Keep on doing that. I've been in broadcast media for a long time, for decades, and it takes a long time to get those skills up. And for me, like we were talking about earlier, I put them all away
Yeah.
because it's more important to be just who I am, and it's so much easier.
Yeah.
It's so much easier.
I've worked on cars for a long time. I grew up in a salvage yard, and you know, I know just a little bit about a lot of stuff, but we're not experts. And I tell Jack that, just like coming here, it's like anything we know about paint and body, let's leave that at home and let's learn a skill here. And you know, we're going to leave here not being experts either, but we're going to be.
Well, but what you can do is take what you learn here,
Yeah.
combine it with what you already know, maybe correct some different habits that maybe you haven't been doing the right thing. Well, that's fine. But you can combine what you've already grown as a skill and combine it with the Paintucation training, and,
sure.
and hopefully it broadens your horizon, gives you a little bit more
Yeah.
confidence in what you're doing.
People see Jack head out in the junkyard and get something running. You know, I think it makes a lot of people think maybe I can do that too. So
Absolutely. Well, that's the premise of my
Yeah.
stuff. I can do a simple procedure on a dent repair. And somebody says, well, that wasn't as hard as I thought.
For sure.
There's no voodoo in any of this.
Yeah.
It's all procedure. And that's my biggest mission, is to show people that they can do it if they want to invest the time. Maybe there's some tools and equipment, maybe there's some safety awareness, but with that, all you have to do is try and give it a shot.
Yeah.
Fail a couple of times and then figure out how to win.
So Jack was watching your DVD the other night, and I could tell where you've broke it down to steps. I could tell how much more confident he was about tackling his ranchero.
Auto body repair is a complex chain of procedures, but every link in that chain is really simple.
Yeah.
You just have to fix one thing before you can fix the next thing. And you know, so you guys coming in with that mindset, you're gonna get a lot out of this training.
Yeah,
So I just wanted to say thanks for showing up, man. Thanks for coming
Appreciate
here.
you having us.
Yeah, yeah.
Can't wait to put the skills to use.
I can't wait to see what you're gonna do with it.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. On day 2, we hit the ground running, jumped right into a single-stage urethane paint project. With a good night's sleep and a good breakfast, everybody jumped in and got to training. The way I like to put it is that this training system is accumulative, and that the next lesson builds off of the previous lesson. These guys had their confidence built up, they understood the basic mechanics of the gun, they had unlearned a couple of bad habits. Sorry, Kent. But we were ready. We were ready to keep going and keep learning, and it was a really great day. Kent had specifically requested learning on an older technology acrylic enamel system with the urethane hardener. We happened to have some of that in the class, so I wanted to make sure that he was comfortable using what they have to reach for. Single stage kind of has its own set of rules, although the spray experience is very similar to a modern day clear coat. I've watched Kent and Jack on YouTube enough to know that they're pretty skilled with their hands. So to see them pick up a spray gun with a little bit of guidance and instruction, jump in it like ducks in water, it was really cool to see. The skills were coming up, the confidence was coming up, and really that combination of confidence, an ease in which we can apply the materials, and a situation that we can learn from and discuss while we're actually spraying, it proves to be a really powerful tool. With Paintucation one-on-one, we've got multiple camera angles showing you where to stop, where to start, how to do your overlaps, and how to create a strategy of painting. It's much the same as I do in an in-person class, but sometimes you get more of an opportunity to stop, back up the video, and start again during the online course. Both ways are great ways to learn. With more than one person in the spray booth, sometimes it turns into a friendly competition, and it was really cool to stand back and watch these guys watch each other. At the end of the day, everybody's rooting for everybody, and everybody wants to see everybody succeed. With the single stage finish done, we cleaned off the equipment and came out to address the base coat clear coat fenders that we had sprayed the previous day. I always say that polishing is the last opportunity that we have to correct and perfect the finish that we sprayed. Sometimes things fall into the paint, sometimes you just want a flatter finish, and I discuss techniques on how to get multiple different levels of surface. In the online course as well as the in-person courses, I talk about setting goals, whether it's a collision repair, a traditional restoration, or a full-on show car. There's 3 distinctive goals and 3 distinctive strategies that actually start from the moment that you start repairing. They can be fulfilled during the polishing stage, but you've got to know where you're headed before you ever spray paint. The polishing system that I use is from Griot's Garage. It's a long stroke dual action polisher combined with water-based compounds, the combination of which gives me a beautiful finish. One of the most powerful tools that we can use during the entire restoration, paint, and repair process is harnessing light, seeing reflection, reading light sources bounced off of your surface to be able to read and analyze the surface. I teach these techniques all the way through the course, both with the online system and with the in-person courses. It's really cool to see the light bulbs go off when you can pass on something to somebody that maybe hasn't thought about before, maybe hasn't had the experience of professional surface correction before. But the coolest thing is at the end of the day, when you get to coach somebody through the process of creating an outstanding, brilliant finish that they actually sprayed, that they did the surface prep on, there's a sense of pride that goes along with that. And watching the look on these guys' faces, it was really, really neat to see them grow into their confidence and get new skills. Surface correction and polishing has been a changing game, just like the rest of the automotive restoration industry. today's tools and equipment are so much easier to use. With that said, I also instruct on older rotary technology, which was how I was trained on how to do sanding and polishing a long time ago. I know the guys were digging the DA polishers, and I was kind of smiling inside because I knew that they had no idea the kind of surprises we had coming for them. We finished up the end of the second day back in the classroom, doing a Q&A and a recap of the whole training process. We also did an open book test and handed out some silly prizes, which is always a fun thing at the end of the day. But what it really does is give everybody just a nice general overview of the subjects that we have covered and maybe some tips that they can bring with them when they start their own painting projects. So first and foremost, each of you gets a certificate of achievement. Here's for Jack.
Thank you.
You're Paintucation certified, buddy.
Nice.
And Kent, you are Paintucation certified, my friend.
Awesome.
Does this mean I'm a professional painter now?
Have you ever been paid for it?
Nope.
Oh, hold on. Hold on.
I'm gonna add this to my resume.
I gotta
There.
be a jack of all trades.
There.
Yep.
So you saw it, I paid him, now he's a professional painter.
Awesome.
You're very welcome. Thank you guys so much for investing your time in Paintucation. I believe in this training, and I know that guys like you can get a lot out of it. So, you guys got spray suits, courtesy of my good friends at Sada Spray Equipment, right?
Yep.
So it's great equipment, really good piece of PPE, so you're welcome for that. This is a 22-piece spray gun cleaning kit. You have a good spray gun, you showed it to me, it's a good piece of gear. This is a good cleaning kit for it.
One of the more intimidating things we've had anytime we've used a spray gun, it's just
Cleaning it.
how many parts do we take apart?
Yeah,
And
yeah, for
we
sure.
were taking too many apart.
Yes, all you need to clean is really where the paint
Yeah.
goes in and the air passages, right?
It would just take anything off of it that would come off of it
Yeah,
when we
yeah.
were cleaning them.
Yep.
So that's something that you cleared up for us, and
Cool.
I'm much more confident about it now.
So now that you have a cleaning kit, you know how to clean it. One more thing. This is a Sada Jet 1500. This is courtesy of Sada Spray. This is a beautiful gun. This is a 1.3 fluid tip, which we showed you is versatile. This is yours, buddy.
Thank you so much.
You can-
Really?
Yes,
Thank you.
100%.
That's awesome.
Sada is the best spray gear that I've ever used, so I'm so proud to pass this on to you guys. And I know you'll take care of it. I know you know how to clean it because you cleaned the
Yeah.
fire out of mine several different times.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You are so welcome. And you can even share it with Dad.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're
That's
most
awesome.
welcome. We're not done. My friends at Styline Corporation, I want to pass you on. This is just a little 6-inch sander pack. This is a thermoset foam. This won't break down under thinner. These are flexible until you put sandpaper on them. The cool thing about these is that see all the shapes that are engineered into them?
Yeah.
So like Volkswagens, you're into VWs. This red one, it's engineered for the louvers on a VW bonnet.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's a really cool tool. There's a sandpaper kit in there, and oh, some knucklehead is on the back as well. I believe in this product. I'm not endorsed by these guys. It's not a paid giveaway or anything like that. But what I'm proud to be able to do is align myself with companies that are companies of integrity, that have good products, and they're in the game for the right reasons. Styline Corporation and Dave Walsh, the inventor of it, he's in the game for the right reasons. So, Merry Christmas,
Yeah.
Happy Birthday.
Thank you so much.
So, like I said before, I align myself with companies that are in it for the right reason, that have tools that change the game. The griot system that you guys use, that's what I teach when I teach classes. It's in all my training courses. When I do live seminars, I use the griot system. I've used everybody's system, and that's what I love to use the most because it gives me consistent results time after time. So my good friends at Griot's Polish System, they're going to gift you guys a G21 polisher, the exact one that you used,
Really?
a complete Boss compound system with all the pads that go along with it. So you're going to get the full suite of Griot's Garage polishing system. So now the next one that you do, you compare how long it takes with griots compared to your other one. And, you know, again, I'm so proud to be able to pass this stuff on to you guys. You're the people that need to keep this industry going, you particularly, Jack. So it's so great to meet you. I love the fact that you're not afraid to get in there and get dirty. You're not afraid of good, old-fashioned hard work. And you're picking up on these concepts really well. So I know you're going to put this stuff to good use. So I just wanted to say thanks, man.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And congratulations on
appreciate you having
the
us.
training course for sure. And like I said, you got my contact information. If I can ever help, let me know.
Yep, thank you.
Cool, you bet. Just that easy. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Your Osmo has their audio. All right. So start with who you are, what you guys do.
I'm Jack Waddell, and a lot of you guys know me from fixing up my 1970 Ranchero on YouTube, so I guess that's what I do.
And I'm just Jack's dad. we're from Speed Bump Garage on all platforms, but yeah, we came here to learn some new skills.
Yeah, we just finished up the Paintucation course, and it was awesome. We learned a lot of new things. Well, I was coming here hoping to learn how to paint so I could paint my Ranchero because the paint isn't looking too hot on it.
Yeah, so our paint skills, like our background, you know, we're from rural Oklahoma, kind of farming area, painting tractors, equipment, welding projects, you know, just kind of been here's a paint gun, put some color on it as the most training we've had. So we wanted the skills to put a quality paint job on, not just the Ranchero, but all of our projects moving forward.
Yeah, and I think we got that.
Yeah, for sure. So we got the opportunity to spray a 2-part system, base clear, and I've never done that before. Always been a little intimidated by it, honestly, just because you know, there's more steps, there's more stuff to buy, more chemical processes to know, and it's really easy. It sprays so much easier than anything I've ever sprayed. It turned out amazing. It's way more forgiving. I had no idea. I've been avoiding it for my 20 plus years and working on cars, and it was for no reason.
Yeah. And the thing for me was the settings on the spray gun. They're a lot simpler than you would think. I was always intimidated by them, like, what does this do? And start messing with it. So I really didn't know what they do, but now we do. He's a really good instructor.
So as far as a teacher, Kevin knows what we're working with. He's seen our shop. He's a real world instructor. He's not just teaching us classroom best practice. He did teach us those things, but then he'll step back and say, hey, here's how you can build your own booth if you want to try to do this at your house. Here's how you can work with your equipment. We're going to use fresh air here. He recommends we use fresh air at home if you're not going to. He gave us real world solutions to problems that we have, and honestly, just more tools to take home and just know what we're doing more than we were before, because really we're winging it.
Yeah.
We were able to eliminate so much guesswork. Like Jack said, the paint gun settings, the chemistry, knowing where to find the answers, and there's good snacks.
Perfect.
So with the help of some of the companies that I've aligned myself with in the automotive aftermarket, Griots Garage and their polishing system, thank you guys so much, Griots, for getting some good tools and equipment in Jack and Kent's hands. For my friends at Soft Sanders, Dave Walsh, you're always very generous when you find out that somebody's interested in bringing up their skills, and thank you for donating your equipment for these guys in their shop. Sada Spray, Sada by Dan Am, you guys are awesome. I've been working with Sada by Dan Am for a long time, and it's my favorite spray equipment, not because they're the best paint guns in the world, they are, but because Sada is, it's a solutions company, and there's so many things that they offer for technicians that help us get their game up. So I appreciate them being able to pass their equipment through me to these guys because they're going to use it well. And it was just a fun experience, and I hope you guys enjoyed seeing some of the video, and I hope they get some stuff out of it. I hope they show some of their new skills on their channel, and in the meantime, we're working constantly behind the scenes, whether it looks like it or not, to get you guys some new content. I've hit a busy patch right now. I'm traveling with a lot of things. I've got some very, very exciting things in the works for the YouTube channel, but also the other businesses that I have. And I'm just excited about it, man. I'm energized, and part of that is because of you guys. So thank you. Thank you again for subscribing. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all the positive reinforcement that we're on the right path with this channel. So I'm going to sign off, and we'll see you next week.